I'm gonna show y'all the way I make instant boba tea, and I'm talking kind of quiet because my entire family's asleep. But I basically just get the smallest pot you have. I put just enough water in it that the boba will be floating when it gets hot. It'll have room to float off the bottom of the pan. I don't know if that's the amount I'm supposed to use, but it works. And you put it on medium. My bad for having a dirty stove. For the tea part, you're basically doing like a tea latte for the milk tea part, and you do a third of the drink with like a more concentrated tea, and then 2/3 of the drink with milk. And instead of like regular tea where it'd be mostly tea and water, and you do 3 tea bags instead of 1, so it's more concentrated. This is my favorite brand of tea. I got at H Mart, Pu'er tea, and yeah, I don't know if I pronounced that right. Well, I did watch videos on it, but I still don't know if I did it right. I sweeten the actual tea along with the boba, just because of the way I make it. It wouldn't be sweet enough without also sweetening the tea. I don't do like the caramel syrup and make that for the boba like most people do, because this is the hyper easy way to make boba tea yourself. Okay, so I don't do all that because it takes longer. But this next part isn't at all following like how most people make boba. This is just what I thought of one time to make the process shorter, because my original process I had, like, I would boil the boba to cook it, and then I would boil it in a different sugar water that was more concentrated to just like sweeten it. My stove is so dirty. Okay, I would boil it again, and I'm like, why am I doing that? I could just boil it in sugar once, and then I'm not making another syrup, and it's just like easier. But yeah, it's like definitely worse because I do it that way, like instead of making like a syrup for the boba. But I don't care, like to me it's not actually that much worse. It's just like a big time saver. So I wasn't even following the serving sizes, but 1/3 a cup is a serving size, and it turns out I was just like expertly guessed it from like what I thought would be a good serving. So I do 2/3 a cup of sugar into that water I just did, and you pretty much saw I hardly put any water. So like if you added more water, you would add more sugar. And this method, is it wasteful? Yes. Is it cheaper than store-bought boba? Yes, by a lot. And it also doesn't take as much time. So there's my justification for just like wasting sugar. So yeah, 2/3 a cup of sugar in here. At my college dorm, or my apartment now, I have a spoon like this that has a smiley face in that part, like a whole smiley face. It's very superior to this one. Now that the sugar is dissolved, we're just waiting for this. To boil. So the tea is brewed. See how it's like 1/3 of the drink, and you're also leaving room for ice, so the milk is only gonna go up to like that. I didn't show myself brew the tea because I usually use a tea kettle at my apartment, but my mom has this machine, so I use this machine, but it's like useless to explain how to use this machine because no one has this. I use this kind of boba pearls, just regular black instant tapioca pearls. You follow the package, it's really easy, just like 2 minutes. I do 3 minutes because I like it to be soft. But pro tip, I got this at H Mart, and this brand usually comes in like red packages, and it's like it says like 5 minutes instead of 2, and you'd think the 5-minute one would be better, but it's really not. This even more instant one is actually like way softer, so I get this instead, and you have to refrigerate it after opening it. Well, I don't actually know if you have to, because one time I didn't, like at all, for like a month, because it was in college, and nothing happened, but I don't think you're supposed to do that. Using that same cup, I'm going to get 1/3 a cup of the tapioca pearls. It's boiling, so it's ready. Dump this in kind of slow, because sometimes it just randomly gets like really mad. It almost boiled over on me one time because I just dumped it all in at once. Stir it until the boba floats on top. It'll float on top once it gets hot enough. I've been stirring it for like 1 minute, and it's starting to be more on top. So yeah, just wait till they start floating like that. This is almost done. Okay, so see how they're all floating on top? Then you cover it and wait 3 minutes, or 2 minutes if you feel like following the packages. I do 3 minutes. I don't really set timer because it's literally 3 minutes. Then I just stand here and stare at it because it's like kind of satisfying. So usually what people do is they don't cook it in sugar water. They cook it in regular water and then make a sugar concoction caramel thing afterwards and like saute the boba in it in a pan. Like if you want to make your own caramel, you can. Every time I've ever tried to make caramel, it's burnt. So I've looked at lots of YouTube videos and I think I'm just cursed, and also just not patient at all. So maybe that is the curse. See how satisfying it is? See what I mean? I forgot to check the time. This is the time I usually make boba at, like 1 a.m. So, well, like in half an hour to 1 a.m. But yeah, I'm just gonna say it's been like 1 minute. Get a little strainer ready for the boba in a minute, because you're gonna need it. You need to have a straw that you can drink this with before you make it, because if you don't, you're gonna have to like use a spoon to drink the boba or something. So you can get these off of Amazon, reusable straws, or just like plastic smoothie straws at Walmart or something. You can put away the dishes and stuff while you wait for the boba to be done. This is usually when I put away my dishes, like all of them if they're clean. But not tonight because it's 1 a.m. so I'm just doing that. I sometimes do put the dishes away straight up in like the middle of the night, but it's really loud. It's like clattering around. It's impossible not to be loud the way we have our dishes. Like trying to put these plates, like stack them without being loud is impossible. So I'm not gonna do it this time. My parents need to sleep. So it's been 3 minutes now. So when it's been 3 minutes, just take it off the heat, and now you're gonna leave it for 5 more minutes and it'll just keep steaming. And I don't really know if I'm just reiterating to you what the package says because I didn't read it. I just did what I already knew was right, and I forget where I learned it from. It was some random recipe online that I've modified over the years to be easier. I'm putting this over here because I'm gonna pour the boba through a strainer, that one, and then into here. Look at the bobas. They get so big. It's been long enough. I don't know how I'm gonna film this. I'm thinking about it as I walk over. Maybe I'm not. I'm gonna pour this through that, okay? And then into the cup. Boba! I'm gonna not film me pouring this because I will probably spill it. The boba is in here now. I've also epically cut out the step in the original recipe that said let it cool, which you're welcome for my innovation because you don't need to let it cool. It'll cool down on its own when you put milk or ice in it. You can use whatever milk you want, but if you're using non-dairy milk, I recommend oat milk or soy milk. Almond milk, like, sure, but it's disgusting, so why would you do that? It doesn't curdle that much though with the milks I listed. With some milks it will curdle depending on the tea you use, even dairy milk. If you use like hibiscus tea or lemon tea or something like that, it will instantly curdle the milk, so don't do that. Hibiscus tea sometimes works, some brands of it, I don't know. A lot of times it curdles the milk though if it's acidic. So like I said, I'm pouring it up. Oh my god, this is a bad idea. Pouring it up to like leaving room for ice, so that's like the other 2/3 of that. Whew. This is the part where I wake up my entire family. Ice goes in by hand, so I splash it less than if I just like put it under the ice maker. This is too full, don't be like me. If you spill it everywhere, clean up after yourself. Don't be nasty. Stir it a little because the boba is still kind of warm, but it's okay like that. It's actually good to have like warm boba in the cold drink. It tastes good, so yeah. It's beautiful. It's epic. Boba.